In today's video, I'm going to go over the best sign-up bonuses for the month. These bonuses all pay out a pretty good amount of money, but they also pay out usually very fast, some in as soon as just 2 business days. That being said, I think everyone watching this video can benefit from it, so let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, here I am on the bankbounty.io website, which you can use if you want to. It's obviously my website. You don't have to though. I'll go ahead and just put the direct links down below in the description if you just want to go that route instead. There are some pretty cool features on this site that I'll get into later though, so I think it's worth checking out. But anyways, let's get right into the first offer. The first bonus we're going to talk about is for a Chase checking account. As you can see right here, you get a $400 sign-up bonus for doing a direct deposit of $1,000 or more within 90 days of enrollment. This bonus is even better than it initially sounds for a few reasons. One is that it says 90 days of enrollment, so you have 90 days to go ahead and complete that direct deposit, but it's not going to take them 90 days to pay you. So that being said, if you go ahead and open the account today, this bonus actually pays very fast, usually in about a week. So like I said, if you open it today, you probably will get paid about a week from now. I mean, that's even faster than most people get paid at their jobs. If you get paid bi-weekly, you'll get this bonus before you get your paycheck probably. Another great thing though that applies to not only this bonus, but all bonuses is that you don't have to technically make a direct deposit. You can use other strategies that count as direct deposits but aren't actually a direct deposit from an employer. The easiest way to go ahead and do that is if you go over here to the deposit triggers tab. You don't have to use my site if you don't want to, but I try to lay it out really nice and clean here. If you transfer basically money from any of these platforms, it will typically count as a direct deposit on Chase's end. So for example, if you have $1,000 on Ameritrade, you can transfer that over to Chase, and usually Chase will count that as a direct deposit. All these bullet points are just based on user data, and of course Chase can change how they, what they accept as a direct deposit, so you do have to make sure that it actually you do get your bonus for it. I try to keep it updated every month, but sometimes things will get changed and I won't notice right away, so there is a chance that you might try one of these and it just might not trigger it. So if that happens, you either gotta, of course, just do a actual direct deposit or try another one of these on the list. Where it gets even better though is the fact that if you go over here, it obviously says that you need to do a direct deposit of $1,000 or more, but it doesn't all have to be done in just one single direct deposit. They say right here you have 90 days to do it if you need that full time. But what that means is you can transfer money back and forth from one of these accounts to your Chase account, and that will count as direct deposit. So let's say, for example, we go ahead and do SoFi. If we transferred $200 from SoFi to Chase, that would be a $200 direct deposit, which doesn't trigger it yet, but you can transfer that same $200 from Chase back to SoFi and then repeat that process 5 times over, and you'll have, obviously, 5 times 200 is $1,000. Each $200 transfer will add up and trigger to total a $1,000 or more direct deposit. So that being said, you can get your $400 bonus with, realistically, probably as little as like $50 if you wanted to do the transfer 20 times. But obviously, if you have the full 1,000, you'll get paid a lot faster if you just do it all in one go. Scrolling down, you see that they do charge a $15 monthly fee. But the thing with this bonus and pretty much all the other bonuses in this video is that they are A, very easy to waive in general, but also B, pretty much automatically waived if you're going to be doing what you need to do to get the bonus. Like for example, right here, you have to do a direct deposit of at least $1,000. I've said that a few times now, but if you go over here, you can see that you'll get your service fee waived if you do a $500 direct deposit in a month. So obviously, in order to get the bonus amount, you have to be doing this anyway. There's a few other ways to go ahead and waive it, but like I said, we already have it covered with this first bullet point, so I'm not really going to go ahead and get into that. And yeah, overall, this is just a really easy bonus to do. One minor thing that I'm going to go over just as a quick thing to know for all these bonuses is that most bonuses will say that the offer expires on this date, or it's a limited time offer, and that is kind of true. It's true in the sense that this specific offer will refresh, but the thing is, on this date, for example, July 15th, it's going to refresh to either the same exact offer, this $1,000 direct deposit for $400, or something very, very similar. Like the one before this was get a $350 bonus for I think $500 in deposits. So obviously not much has changed. They just increased it $50 and changed the deposit requirement a little bit. But yeah, just decided to mention that just in case you are looking at one of these bonuses and then you see that the offer expires in like a week or something. you don't really have to worry because I promise you the offer will 99% still be here next week. The next bonus we're going to talk about is not exactly a bank account bonus. It is a little bit different, but it is a really easy one to do and it's a pretty good bonus, so I decided to put it in this video anyway. At first glance, it doesn't seem all that special. You get a $100 Visa gift card from Gusto after you run your first payroll. But the thing is that I personally will send you $200 out of my own pocket from the commission that I get once you go ahead and do this. And, you know, obviously you have to use the link in the description so that way it tracks on my end and I get my cut of the commission and I go ahead and share that with you once you do it. So you get $100 plus $200 for $300 total. There's a few reasons why this one is great. One, you don't have to do any deposit requirement. You are just running a payroll on Gusto. So you can go ahead and pay yourself. You know, if you have an LLC, you can literally do like $100 payment to yourself. So, you know, it's not even really $100. You're getting it straight back to your own bank account. And also Gusto is just a really nice platform. This isn't sponsored or anything. Obviously, I have my own affiliate link for it because it's part of the bonus. But I personally do use Gusto for my own business. And it's really convenient. You know, it's just the payroll software. You can go ahead and set up a 401k. They handle the compliance stuff for you. It's, you know, whatever. But yeah, to sum it up, you get $300 after running your first payroll. You don't have to, like I said, pay anything with that really because you're just paying yourself. They do charge a monthly fee. I think it's like $39. But the thing is, you don't even pay that until you run payroll. So if you go ahead and do it, you're already getting that $300 guaranteed. So even accounting for the monthly fee, you're still walking away with about a $260 profit. And this one really is pretty easy. I would say it probably takes about 5 to 10 minutes to go ahead and set up and do. Since it is a little bit different than the rest though, you can go ahead and email me at support@bankbounty.io if you have any questions about it. The next bonus we're going to talk about is for US Bank, and this is another fast paying one. Over on the site, I said that it usually pays in about 2 business days, which is obviously very quick. The bonus itself is depositing $8,000 or more to earn a $450 bonus. And this offer is tiered. So you see it does go as low as doing $2,000 deposit for a $250 bonus, $5,000 for $350, and of course the biggest one that I already talked about. But like I said, with the other strategies I talked about earlier on in the video, with the certain banks you can transfer from and the fact that you can transfer money back and forth, and also the fact that I believe you have 90 days to get this done as well, just like the Chase. Yeah, you have 90 days to do it. There really is no reason not to go for the highest tier. If you have $1,000 in your bank account, you can, like I said, move that back and forth 8 times, and that will go ahead and get you set for the $8,000 bonus. Once again, you have 90 days if you need it, or if you just have the whole $8,000 ready to go and ready to transfer, you can make the bank account today and get paid 2 days from now. Me personally, I just love fast paying bonuses because obviously you get the money fast and you can kind of just go ahead and transfer that money and then transfer it back and be done with it pretty quickly. Going down, like I said, the monthly fees for all these are pretty much automatically waived. But just to go ahead and add them as a disclaimer, this one for US Bank in specific is a $12 monthly fee. But right here with this third bullet point, you can see that if you have combined monthly direct deposits of $1,500 or more, it will already be waived, so you don't have to worry about it. And once again, if you're trying to go ahead and trigger any of these bonuses, you will have to get that done anyway. There's some other ways to go ahead and waive it, but like I said, we already have it covered with that third one, so I'm not going to go ahead and get into those. And yeah, going back over to the deposit triggers tab, I'll go ahead and show you which banks count as a direct deposit for this. So the other great thing about US Bank that I forgot, honestly, while going over it, is that this one is very lenient on what they count. I listed at the top that pretty much all ACH transfers will work, which is just a standard bank transfer. But I also listed a few other ones that a lot of people have said work. So as you can see, we have Cash App, Charles Schwab, Apple Cash, Fidelity, PayPal, Wells Fargo. There really are a lot of options here. So even with something simple like Cash App, for example, or PayPal, those are like peer-to-peer payment services. You don't want to Cash App yourself the money or PayPal yourself the money. Instead, you want the money on your PayPal app and you want to withdraw it to an external bank account. In this case, it would be US Bank. And just a quick reminder, all of these transfers, since we're on US Bank right now, for example, if we were going to look at Charles Schwab, in order for it to successfully count as a direct deposit on US Bank, you would have to transfer the money from Charles Schwab to US Bank, not from US Bank to Charles Schwab. So basically, don't use US Bank to do the transfer. You instead want to use Schwab. If you're confused, Basically, you just don't want to use US Bank to initiate the transfer. Obviously, if you're initiating it from US Bank's end, then they can see that you're requesting money, so it's not a direct deposit. Whereas if you send it directly from the Charles Schwab app yourself, they never really knew that you were the one that initiated that, so they have no reason to think that it's not a direct deposit, at least for the ones that are on this list. Going on to the next bonus on the list, it is once again not for a bank account, but it is for a brokerage, which are pretty much the same things for bank churning standards, since you don't have to worry about credit checks or anything like that like you would for a credit card. But also, this bonus just has a lot of things that make it really nice. First of all, right here at the top, you can see that you get a boosted 8.1% APY for the first few months that you sign up. If you have looked at high yield savings accounts at all, you will know that this rate is unheard of, but also that is why it's only available for the first few months you sign up and not for lifetime. Scrolling down though, you'll see that you also get a bonus Nvidia stock depending on how much you deposit. If you're not really into investing or trading stocks, then no worries, because you can go ahead and sell this immediately after they give it to you. But you can see that it is a cumulative deposit, so you don't have to do it all in one go. Let's say you end up depositing $10,000, you will get $200 in Nvidia stock, or basically cash, since you can go ahead and sell it right away. And you'll also get the 8.1% APY if you go ahead and leave it as cash and don't invest it. This brings me to my third point, which is that it's a brokerage, so it opens the door to investing in your future if you want to do that. Moomoo is a pretty good platform. I personally use Fidelity, but that's not because I think Moomoo sucks. It's just because I started off with Fidelity, so I'm going to keep my money there. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and look at the app, you can obviously go ahead and do that. Another great thing too is that this is just a deposit for, they're trying to get new investors on their platform. So you don't have to worry about deposit triggers list or anything like that. You can go ahead and just transfer it from whatever bank you have. The tier goes all the way up to $100,000 for a $1,000 bonus stock, which I know most people watching probably won't have that 100,000 to go ahead and drop into this account, but it is there if you want that option. I mean, even if you already do have your money at another brokerage or on another platform, you can go ahead and transfer this money, go ahead and take that $1,000 as a bonus, rebuy the stocks that you already had on your last brokerage, and just go ahead and transfer back after you get the bonus if you want to, or just stay on Moomoo. But yeah, it's not a bank account, so there's no annual or monthly fee. Of course, no credit inquiry, and your stocks are given quickly after your deposit settles. So there really are a lot of things at play that make this bonus so great. The next bonus I'm going to talk about in today's video is for Bank of America. This is once again another fast paying bonus. I think it's about a week, I said, or yeah, about 7 business days. And you get $500 for depositing, I think it is $10,000. So obviously, to get the highest tier, it is a hefty deposit requirement, but like I said, I've said it a few times now, you can go ahead and move that money back and forth. So it is more attainable than it originally sounds. If for whatever reason you don't want to transfer money back and forth and really max it out, you can go ahead and settle for a $100 bonus depositing $2,000 or a $300 bonus depositing $5,000. This one also gives you 90 days to go ahead and qualify. Like I said, you don't have to take the full 90 days if you don't need to. Once you do, they say they'll pay you within 60 days, but like I said, it really is a lot faster than that, usually about 7 business days. And yeah, right here, I said monthly fee is very easy to waive because all you have to do is a direct deposit of at least $250 for the month. And once again, if you're going to go ahead and do this bonus, you will be far past that, even if you're doing the lowest tier. So yeah, really no reason not to go ahead and try to do this one. Going on over to the next bonus, you get a $400 bonus for SoFi if you deposit, I believe, $5,000. So yeah, as you can see, you get $400 if you deposit $5,000 or more. But I mean, it really drops off very quickly if you do anything below that. If you do anything under 5,000 and above 1,000, you only get $50. So you're going to get 8 times the money if you just do 5,000, and you get $0 if you do anything less than 1,000. So yeah, this one is one where you definitely want to go ahead and go for the highest tier if you're going to even try to do this one. SoFi also gives you a boost of a 0.7% APY. So you can go ahead and add that to their standard 3.3% APY to get a total of 4% for the first 6 months. After the 6 months, it returns to the standard rate of 3.3%. So that is another great thing to think about for this bonus. Just from personal experience, I can say that SoFi is actually pretty generous in the benefits they give you. I think they gave me a free trial for SoFi Plus, so I didn't even pay any money. But with that free trial, they also gave me the option to get $50 off anywhere. So basically just a free $50 for a subscription that I didn't even pay for. I can't guarantee that that's still going on, but something nice to think about and can definitely go ahead and boost your offer even more. The timing on this one is a little bit different because you can see that you have all the way until the end of 2026 to do this. So as long as you get it done before 2027, you're good. But the real countdown starts once you make your first direct deposit of at least $1. After that, you have 25 days to do your full $5,000 if that's what you're going for. So basically, say you signed up today and you went ahead and did your $2,500 direct deposit, you got to make sure you have that other $2,500 ready to go within the next 25 days. Since this one has a shorter window than the other 90-day ones, you want to wait until you have that money either pretty much ready to go or, of course, all ready to go at once. Like I said, once again, you can move that same money back and forth if you need to, and I believe SoFi is actually a little bit harder to trigger than the rest of them, honestly. Yeah, as you can see, the list is pretty small over here, and even these sometimes are a little bit hit or miss. But if you have Ally Bank, if you sell anything on eBay, if you do any sort of gig payouts, so, you know, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Instacart, Lyft, yada, yada, yada. If you have Novo, PNC, Treasury Direct, which I talked a little bit about Treasury Direct and Novo in another video about triggering bonuses. But yeah, like I said, the list is obviously a lot smaller than something like US Bank. So if you don't have any of these, I would recommend probably starting with another easier one first, like Chase or US Bank, or even Gusto if you can make that one work, since obviously you don't have to transfer from a bank. And Moomoo also, of course, doesn't need money from a specific bank. You can just do it from anywhere. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below in the comment section, or go ahead and contact me over here on this site if you decide to make an account, or just go ahead and email me right at support@bankbounty.io. If any of this was helpful to you, go ahead, drop a like and subscribe, please. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.